Hello and welcome to the 2020 product research method to find low risk profitable products with a twist. We're going to be looking into markets that have much lower competition and a much lower barrier of entry than most other markets. That's why this one is with a twist. So everybody loves this product research method. It's the Helium 10 black box, or whatever you like to call it, whatever software we're using. We're gonna do it a little bit differently using this. By the way, my name is Karina and hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I post videos a lot, so do subscribe and click the like button. So we're in Helium 10 right now. If you use the code Karina50, it will give you 50% off. Karina 10 will give you 10% off every month. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into black box and we're going to select parameters. Now this is going to pull up products that meet these parameters, and of course we like to do things very low risk. So we're not going to go into these crazy markets that are doing hundreds and $1,000s of sales. We're going to go, let's try to go for, I don't know, 16,000 revenue being the kind of least monthly revenue minimum. I'll leave it at 6,000, somewhere around here. The price, let's go from $12 all the way to $37. And then review count, we'll leave it somewhere in the 300s. We'll leave it at that, right? So instead of just clicking search, I'm going to select certain categories. And this is where the less competitive part comes in. Go into Google and type in what are the gated Amazon categories, and you'll get a list. Here's more items. Let's actually pick these. Why not? Let's go automotive, clothing. I don't like clothing. Obviously collectible books you can't sell. Entertainment collectibles, fine art, stay away from those. You can't private label them. But let's do industrial, scientific, appliances, okay? That should be good enough. So appliances are up here, and industrial and scientific. That should be good enough, right? Video games, you can't really sell those. You can't private label them. Again, this is private label, so musical instruments also, you're not going to be private labeling a guitar or anything like that. So let's just click search. And this is actually gated categories. You're not allowed to sell in them unless you get approval. And there are ways to get approval. Sometimes Amazon will just give you approval. If you want more info on that, I do have a video surfacing somewhere on YouTube. But anyways, or Amazon gives you approval, or you can actually get ungated. And I teach this in my course. And not only that, but I teach other low risk product research methods. I don't like to go after those products that are doing crazy numbers, 50,000 a month, that you need to spend tens and thousands of dollars. And people actually, it's funny, they don't think that you need to actually spend that much money to launch like standard Amazon products. They think they only need to have like $2,000 to go into these markets that do like $50,000 of revenue, which is not true. If you only have $2,000, then there's very specific products that you can go after and very specific research methods. And I teach all of that in my private label club, a plethora of these types of methods at theplclub.com. You can join it for $7 and get your product validated. But anyways, let's go here. This looks interesting. I don't know what this is, but I'm going to open it. I'm gonna come back to these later, but let's just open random things that look like we can private label them. And this one is interesting because, again, these are gated categories. So the reason I like them is because most sellers are lazy, and we're not lazy. We can outcompete them. So they're not gonna want to do any of this because they'll have to get ungated. A lot of the times they'll have to pay extra money to get ungated, and no one wants that. Even these, this is so funny, these are really takeout bags. No one, you know what, it makes sense why these are kind of selling right now due to, in light of everything that's going on. But I'm opening these. People just don't want to do the research. They don't want to pay the extra money. They want to get rich quick. They want to do the most easiest low effort thing. And I agree, you can do this low effort, but this is why we're going to win. Is because we're going to be doing things like these and no one else is going to be doing them except for us. So, wow, interesting. Is this a urine sample cup? I saw that. Where did it go? I'm actually curious. This is a urine sample cup. What are the odds? Okay, let's get into it. This is so interesting. Okay, specimen containers. Let's look into this market. And then of course, you don't, just because one product is doing well doesn't mean the rest are. So the products that are kind of, wow, is this only, okay, 100 for $26. These are cheap, wow. So keep in mind that these products matched all our parameters, but just because one product matches doesn't mean all of them are gonna match. So that's why we are going to search it in all departments and see how the market itself is doing. So let's see how well these urine sample cups are doing. Honestly, sometimes I do these research videos and I find winning products as I'm doing it, and I almost don't want to post the video. But again, don't do anything. There's a lot of steps that goes into product validation. This is not a product validation video. I have a product validation playlist, and my students can validate their products if they're in the private label club too. But this is just kind of a good starting point. Noted that some sellers are doing well. It's loading a little bit slow, but see how it's not bad actually looking at this and the low reviews. The one thing I do want to point out is the search volume for this is very low, 360, which means that this is not the main keyword. If this was the main keyword, there would be much higher search volume, and you simply cannot get this amount of sales. See, the total revenue of this keyword market is 153,000. So that's not enough searches a month to equate to that amount. So clearly this is not the right word, not the right main keyword. You'd have to find out the main keyword of this market. But hey, it could be promising because the numbers are pretty good and the reviews are low. So of course you would need to do deeper analysis of all these types of products, but let's keep looking to see what else comes up. And you'll see how these products are very different. This one might be hard to get in because it's probably in a kind of like medical category. But again, if you're able to overcome the barriers when others are not, that's how you succeed. It's not by replicating what everyone else is doing. And that's the funny thing, is because most sellers do go after these very high selling a month items, and I don't believe in that. I think if you do that, you're going to need to spend a lot of money. You're going to probably get into something too competitive that you can't even rank for, and that's how you lose. I like to teach this model in a way that anyone has a level playing field where you can invest with a very small amount of capital and still scale and be successful. So that's kind of my strategy. This, I don't know what this is, nitrogen regulator. And also, to be successful in these markets, this is tools and home improvement, you will need to ensure the quality of the product, which again is something I teach everyone that's a student of mine. But you don't want to come out with a janky product because these are used for serious things and the products are a little bit more complex. But again, if you can overcome that and you can get ungated and actually get a good supplier, then you're gonna do well. Even looking at these reviews, they're so much lower, even though this may not be the main keyword, or even if it is, the sales are still good for this. And it's actually quite interesting because even if you weren't in gated categories, it's harder to find products that have such low reviews. It's because no one wants to go into these markets and the products are boring. I mean, who wants to sell a nitrogen regulator? How exciting is that? It's not very exciting. Like, hey, I have a nitrogen regulator business, but the thing is, the nitrogen regulator business brings in money. Look, I mean, if you were doing $14,000 a month and you only needed to get around 60 reviews, you could probably outcompete the seller with 20 reviews, which is really easy to get in like a month or two, even maybe less. Anyways, yeah, I don't think he would mind that. So let's keep looking at these. 10 quick disconnect audio pipe. Is this an auxiliary cord? I'm just gonna type in audio pipe and see what comes up. This is an auto motor. I'm pretty sure this is an auxiliary cord. Maybe not. Who knows? Okay, this is a different market, but let's look at this one. I love how low reviews are in these categories. It's crazy. If you haven't tried kind of out of the box methods such as these, I mean, it's not even really out of the box. This method is widely known, but everyone just goes after the generic things. Oh my gosh, look at these sales. Do you see how stable all these markets are? And look at how low the reviews are. This is actually even blowing my mind. The only thing I am concerned is why everyone is merchant fulfilled. That's something you'd have to research further. That's something, again, I teach, but this is kind of a red flag to me, because why are they not FBA, right? They could be drop shipped, maybe a Chinese manufacturer selling them. A lot of the times that's kind of the case, is they won't be Prime eligible. But oh, they are Prime eligible. Okay, maybe this is actually fulfilled by the manufacturer, right? This is a more complex product. A good thing about these markets too is that there's seldom going to be hijackers or the Chinese that try to take over your listing and sell a cheaper counterfeit product, because they are gated, and again, it's just more effort that people don't want to take. And the more barriers you overcome, the more successful. Spark plugs. This is a very straightforward product. Imagine just finding a supplier, just tell them, get me 8 of these. A lot of the times with these products, you actually don't even really have to differentiate that much, because people will just buy whatever, and it's so less competitive that if you rank on the first page, which you will not have as a difficult time, because these products are not really a hot product, right? Then sellers will just buy it because the demand is there. And even a product with 51,000 searches, this one isn't even crazy competitive, even with the reviews. Although the reviews are getting a little bit more, you can see the higher the reviews, the more sales they're getting, right? 1,000 reviews is $19,000, while 51 reviews is only 2,000. So this market is definitely review heavy. So I wouldn't advise something like this. Again, you do want to be conscious of reviews, of course, always. This is interesting. Let's look at these thank you bags. Well, thank you bags might be something else. They might be crafts. Let's look at this. Reusable plastic grocery bags. This is definitely takeout. So of course, this, you have to analyze the main keyword. This is not, okay, that's a different. Maybe let's try thank you bags. Because now it's giving me like Whole Foods bags, like the reusable one for shopping. Thank you bags. But these are clearly for takeout, which makes sense because of the pandemic. I can guarantee that these are probably not Prime eligible, because they're getting drop shipped, or honestly don't even know if the thank you bag is patented, but reviews are a little high for this. But you can see the demand is crazy, which again makes sense because pretty much everyone is just getting takeout. Again, I think the reviews are too high for something like this, so I wouldn't recommend that. Hydraulic brake piston press. Okay, I don't even know what this is. I mean, this person, I believe how much is he doing a month? Imagine putting up a listing with one photo and literally no effort on the description, and selling, how much is he selling? It's probably gonna be something, and selling $8,000 a month. Imagine you just put up a random picture, put in 2 bullets, and call it good. They don't even have a description really, and just sell well. Sports and outdoors. This might not even be a gated product. You do have to kind of do more research, but I'm assuming, I don't know if this is the main keyword. Again, this is not like a deep analysis video, but I want to show you the opportunities. It's clearly not the main keyword because of the search volume is so low. That's one really good indication. But just, I do want you to pay attention to the high revenue relative to the reviews. Only 151 reviews and 9,000. 13,000 reviews, 13,000 revenue, 106 reviews. And then of course these are much higher, but I don't know, maybe you can get something from these products even, or this method. I'm not gonna go and look into all of these. This video is already getting a little lengthy, but you understand the idea. And I'm just on the first page. There are pages, and I'm on page 2. There's 10 pages, and then of course you can mess around with the parameters. You can even go for, let's say, a different revenue like 16,000 to 20,000, or keep this revenue and change the price. Maybe something a little bit higher, maybe narrow it, maybe lower the review count. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and that's the beauty of it. People say, is there a trick to product research methods? Not really. You just need to know what to look for, how to avoid red flags in markets, and then put in the time and know kind of how to alternate between the methods, and how to dive deeper, and how to especially validate your products. And I think that's the most important part, and of course the low risk aspect of it. I teach all of this not only in my course, but in my low risk private label club, which you can join for $7. You can have access to the product research validator where you can submit your product for me to review, let you know if there's any red flags. Trust me, that's gonna save you thousands. I think I should do a counter of how much money I save my students by the product research validator, because there's some products that they were about to source and I stopped them, and they're like, thank goodness, because it would have lost them a lot of money. But it's really important to make sure you get your product validated by someone. Otherwise, you could waste a lot of money if you don't know these initial steps perfectly. And that's what the PL Club is for, before you dive into anything deeper. It's very low risk, very low barrier of entry. So anyways, glad to have you on here today. Do subscribe and like this video, and I will see you in the next one.